I struggled so hard. It took me a month and a half to read this book.
Hello, and welcome back to Reading Across Time Zones. I'm Yolanda,
And I'm Savannah.
and we're so happy to finally be able to join you guys again. We apologize for the delay. Things got a little crazy there between schedules and uh, book reading, but we're finally here and we're just glad to be able to talk to you guys. Okay, so going back, we are going to talk to you guys about My Roommate is a Vampire and the third book of this series of Throne of Glass, which is Crown of Midnight. That's the third book, right? That
Yep.
we read? Yeah. Okay. So, the first book, we're just going to go ahead and get into it. My Roommate is a Vampire. We did read it together. A little bit of description on it is a struggling artist finds a too good to be true apartment with a mysterious roommate who is a vampire and has a proposition for her. What did you think of this book, Savannah? I'm finally getting to hear your thoughts about it.
I really did enjoy this one. It was a little bit insta-lovey for me personally.
Like, too quick to
Um,
fall in love?
yeah.
Mhm.
And I understand that, there were a lot of elements, I guess, that we didn't get to see and experience with them. I think that that was a little bit purposeful, in the fact that they are essentially falling in love through these exchanged notes since he is nocturnal and she is still going about her normal, day job, um normal life. And so I do think that that was a little bit purposeful, but it was really cute. Their letters were really funny, and their friendship was funny. His friendship, um, I just thought that it was very entertaining.
What did you rate it?
I think I gave this one a 4 out of 5,
Mhm.
so it was
Yeah,
good.
it was really good. I also gave it a 4 out of 5. It was a really good, easy read. I do agree they did fall in love very quickly in a sense, but it wasn't like it didn't make sense. It was just
Yeah.
it just kinda it just flowed, but it flowed a little quickly. Couple spoiler alerts, so forgive me about that, but, I do really like his friendship he had with his best friend, Reginald. That was so funny because Reginald's also a vampire, and it seems like Reginald was, living in the current times and Frederick wasn't, and I think he just came into this. I don't wanna spoil too much, but, so it was just funny seeing, like, the text message exchanges where he's like, "What is that?" or "What does that mean?" or "What do you mean by that?" It was just too funny. It was a really good way to open up each chapter and give some context as to what's gonna happen. I do love their exchange notes. It was, it makes sense, and you could see that he was falling in love when at first he would be like, I don't remember what he would say at first, but then at the end, he'll be like, "Yours, comma, Frederick."
Yeah.
That's her man at the end of the day, and so that's what he was basically hinting at. I think my favorite scene in that book is when they were at her best friend's house party or whatever, and he's like he did some research on, like, essentially pop culture and was trying to reference some things like Taylor Swift. He ended up becoming a Swiftie with someone. So he was kinda getting into the times, and I think they, were kinda just testing the waters of where their friendship, relationship could go, and she's, like, in the bathroom. I don't remember what she's doing in the bathroom. He goes in there because he's concerned because she's been there for so long, and so then, they start going back and forth. They have really good banter, and then, I think they were trying to figure out, like, how to get out of the bathroom, and she's like, "We can just walk out together, like, it's fine, no one here cares," and he, like, essentially clutched his pearls.
Yes.
Like, she said that was the best way to describe it was that he was clutching his pearls. I died at that scene. I think it was so funny to me, but, that was my favorite part about the whole book. But yeah, I do wish, but then again, I know it's kind of up to interpretation, knowing kind of more questions as to the vampire and how, like, the vampire aspect of the relationship works. Like, it's almost given to you as like a, yes, he's a vampire. that's it kind of thing, as opposed to like, he's a vampire, and so this is how this is gonna have to be because you guys are together, you know? So it was a really good book. It was perfect for Halloween, I think, and I almost went immediately to my roommate plus one or my plus one vampire, something like that. The second
Yeah.
book. I almost went straight into it, but I was like, no, 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 I think I'm gonna save that for next year.
Um, okay, so you don't get to know those things because you're just a mortal and she can't tell you everything about the vampires, duh. Um,
No. So many questions.
but I also did really like I guess, like, almost it felt like it had a little bit of, like, a historical
Mhm.
romance type of vibe in it, with, him being so old school and, those, similar references like that and, the letters and just him really dating himself.
Yeah.
Um but, my favorite scene and one that I'm relating to more and more as I get older is when he's in the coffee shop and he's gonna pay with with his doubloons. Like, that's literally how I feel every time I try to use cash. I'm like, "I'm such a dinosaur. Hold on, I have the correct
Hold on, let
change.
me
Hold
count
on."
it. And then you always somehow manage to drop a penny every single time.
Literally.
I thought you were gonna say it's because the coffee menu just keeps expanding into weird things and you're just like, "What is
That
that?" And
too.
there's
I
never a
don't know what
description.
that is. I just want my caramel macchiato.
You gotta look for the store's version of a caramel macchiato.
Literally, just stop making it so hard. Let me pay you in cash. It's 561. Hold on. I have it.
It was him crashing out at the coffee counter that really got me. It was a really, really good book. I kind of was expecting when he had his little secret closet that it was gonna be something murderous, and then when he finally told her what it was, I was like, "It's just cutesy, it's all around cutesy." Like, yeah, okay, that's cute and funny, but I guess I've read too much mystery thrillers where I'm like, "There's a body in there. He's actually
Yeah.
harvesting organs the whole time." But well, I can't wait for us to read the next book next year. Definitely gonna add it to our
Yes.
list.
I'm also excited for the next one. So stay tuned for our reviews of those. We will continue and probably finish the series.
There's 3, right? 3 books?
Mhm. Three right now.
We should yeah, so, 2027, we'll finish the series.
Hey, you never know. We might not find anything else that we really want to read
I
next year.
doubt it.
Might just knock them both out.
I doubt it. Well, maybe, but, schedules, they're hard to keep to
Yeah,
sometimes.
they really are. We'll see what happens. Anyway.
TBD. Alright, so the next book that we read is Crown of Midnight. Don't have too much of a description for that, it basically just continues Selena's journey through the palace, conspiracies while exploring her divided loyalties as the king's champions. It was a little hard to get through. It took me probably 2 weeks or a little bit over that to really get done with that book. It was a very slow start. Some parts of it, I was like, well, okay, I guess I kind of enjoyed exploring her love relationship with Kale. I did enjoy seeing that part of it. A lot of parts of it were kind of slow to build, so I was just like, okay, let's get through this. Let's get to the point. What's gonna happen? And I understand that there's a lot of side stories for a lot of characters, but sometimes I'm like, I don't care. I just want to know what's gonna happen. Um, and then when she goes to that warehouse because they got Kale, and I'm just like, here you go again. You're gonna fall for the trap once again, like you did with Sam. Why? Because at the end of the day, you're 17 and you're naive, and you're still your frontal lobe's not even there all the way. But it was kind of a little boring because I'm like, I know she's gonna get caught. I know something's gonna come of this because she just can't sit and think for 2 seconds. So she really managed to pissed me off for a second there, but it was a hard read through. I think I didn't wanna be mean, I didn't give it 4. I gave it 4 on Fable, but honestly, that was really a 3 at the end of the day for me. I had to get through it because I needed to get on to the next book. Your thoughts, Savannah?
Wow, this one was really hard. Okay, so it has been a while since I hit a slump like this one. I had a lot going on in my life with my job. October is just a really busy month for me at work, and this was just bad timing. So I really should not have been as ambitious as I was and agreed to read all these books, but I straight up did not. Like, barely at minimum did I enjoy Crown of Midnight. I struggled so hard. It took me a month and a half to read this book, and I did spoil it for myself because I am the most annoying person in the world, and I also spoiled it for you, and so I'm sorry. But,
Is it when we
like, the
Googled who Selena was?
yeah, yeah, because, why am I reading the 3rd book and we're still not even talking about who we're supposed to be talking about? Because obviously, like, this series came out a while back.
Mind you, though, you were asking about Selena, I think either Throne of Glass or Assassin's Blade. You were like,
Yeah,
"Who's Aelin?"
yeah. I was like, why are we reading about this other person? This is not who the series is supposed to be about." So I ruined it for us, but even even that being, the grand reveal at the end of this book, spoiler alert, not spoiler alert, right? Um, wow, that book did not need to be 400 pages. Oh my god. I love Kale. I really do, I wanted them to to battle it out, right, through this we hate each other, but we love each other thing. I was ready for that. Why did all that other stuff have to happen? Oh my god, and Nehemia. Girl, if you just had not been so mysterious and secretive, like, I get, bigger things at play, right? These things had to happen so that everything at blah, blah, blah. Oh my god. I'm just gonna stop because
No, please keep going.
no, because why? Oh my god, this could have been a novella. This literally should have been one of the stories in Assassin's Blade. I am so sorry. I did not like this. It was way too long. I felt like nothing was happening. I was so bored. Even like the little sprinkly tidbits, I was like, "Oh, nope,
Yeah.
don't care."
What did you think about Dorian having magic?
I mean, I feel like that was inevitable too, right? Like, of course, because his father hates it so much, but he's over here stealing it. So, of course, Dorian's magic. And, like, again, Nehemia, you could have just been like, hey, look, you know your magic. I know your magic. Like, let's work together to work this out, right? But no, you had to be all, when the time comes, I'm here for you. Girl.
Elena was already doing that.
Literally. We
Yeah.
already have her over there being cryptic as fuck.
And then there's the doorknob. The talking doorknob also
Yes,
being
Mort.
cryptic.
Now, okay, Mort is low key funny,
He is. I
but
like him.
also, you already knew the riddle situation. Why you didn't just help her?
It's too easy.
It's oh
I
my gosh. Okay, so it literally took me back to Iron Flame, and I know you haven't read it yet, but the whole time Zayden is like, you have to ask the right questions. How does she know the right questions? Just help her.
give her a clue.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I do think that Nehemia's death was like I understand that they did it for her to have that character growth essentially, but I feel like they really could have kept her because she would have been very resourceful and useful for her. Um And like you said, she should have just been honest with Selena. I understand Selena didn't want to, like, you know, be true to herself or, whatever. I can't say too much without telling you what's gonna happen in the next book, but, um, I just it was just kinda pointless, you know? It just seems like they did that Sam situation all over again.
Literally.
Yeah, so that book was definitely I did enjoy, like, the last 100 pages where, she's, like, messing with the portals or whatever, but I need more of that. I needed more of her going into that other world and, like, me visualizing her in her fae body and, like, the sword, and I'm like, "Yes! You're gonna be such a badass bitch! I can't wait to see more of it!" And then, boop, that's it. You don't get more. That's it. You gotta just keep reading on, which I understand. We've got how many more books left? This was I have been told because I had talked to some of my other friends who read the series, and I'm like, "FML, I don't think I can get through this," but they're like, "It really, you really just need to get through it." It's, essentially the start of the story, it feels like. I will say Air of Fire was 3,000 times better from just the first 50 pages compared to what Crown of Midnight was, and, bad enough for it to put you into a slump is concerning, and I really was worried that you were not gonna finish the series. Still kind of concerned you might not finish the series. I'm not gonna believe it until you start reading Air of Fire, but
Look, I'm committed. I'm gonna read the series because everybody has hyped it up so much. Oh, it's better than ACOTAR. Not yet.
I will say Crown of Midnight did kind of remind me of the Court of Frost and Starlight, where it was kinda like, "Okay."
Okay, but A Court of Frost and Starlight was
That's true.
this
It's
thick.
literally half. Yeah, it was only like 200 and some pages, yeah. Yeah,
Literally, Crown of Midnight could have been less than 250 pages. It should have been. I should have published this book so I could have been like, Sarah, what are you thinking? Absolutely not. No, this is boring. Trash.
Yeah. It was definitely a
Yeah.
hard read, and essentially the sole reason we had to skip, like, 2 episodes.
Yeah, so
So that
sorry.
says a lot.
It was me, but I
It's
was
okay.
struggling. And sometimes it just be like that.
It did just be like that, but I was like, "Come on, Savannah, you can do it. I just you're almost there.
Yeah,
So
Imma
close."
do it. Imma do it. Y'all just be patient because ooh, that was
Let's just
tough.
say if it doesn't meet Savannah's expectations, though, you guys are gonna hear about it for
You
sure.
sure are. Imma write
Y'all told me this was the best series to read.
everybody a letter. What are y'all thinking with these tattoos, with this nonsense on my timeline? Y'all out here talking to hear yourselves talk. Nah,
Spewing
Imma stop.
lies.
Imma wait. We're gonna see what happens.
Any other thoughts on Crown of Midnight?
Nope.
I don't remember fully what that book was, so I can't even ask further questions because some of that might be air fire. It's all blending at this point, but
Yeah, I have to catch back up to you. You've already read that one. I also was intrigued, but then the whole Iron Teeth witch situation was also a monumental
mm.
letdown.
Oh, talk about Savannah just spoiling things for herself. When I told her that I was reading Air of Fire, starting it, she was like, "Where's Manon? Who's Manon?"
I
And
asked that when the circus came to town because I was like, "Is that blonde girl finally Manon?"
mind
No,
you, I don't even know who these people are until she's like, "Where's Manon?" And I'm like, "Who? What's a Manon? I don't know."
I
She's
just
like
don't
the
understand
witch.
why we're in book 4. We're halfway and
But
we're
just if you
finally
do this to
meeting.
yourself, though, if you didn't look up and spoil things for yourself, you wouldn't know anything. You would just be like,
I
"Oh,
don't. I just exist on Instagram
that's true.
and
We are very behind."
I
I
mean, it
know.
was 10 years ago. It's our own faults, but people are
Mind
like,
you, though, we only
eh.
really got back into reading in the last 2 years.
That's true. But
I don't. know what we were doing for the other 8, but
I was struggling, not graduating college. Why are we 4 books into a series and we don't even know who we're reading about yet?
well, it's only 3. You will get some answers on the 4th one.
I better.
I pinky promise.
I am owed answers. All I have is questions.
Well, wrapping up Crown of Midnight, there's Savannah's opinion on it. She would not recommend, but it is a
No.
necessary evil in order to go on to the next book.
Honestly, you can just read the last page. It's fine. You don't have to read the
Just Spark Noted. I think someone did tell me that. Just look it up in Spark Notes,
I
honestly. I
asked. I was
didn't
like, "Is
care.
that still a thing? Can I still do
I
that?"
think it is. I think it is. I genuinely almost did it, but I was like, no, no, no. Let's just get through it. Um, I will say at by the time that I was able to finish this book as well, it was time to read Grady Hendrix's The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. And it was on our list to read that along with Soul Searching. And about the third or fourth day of November, I told Savannah, I was like, I want Christmas. I think Halloween, and we could have just out Halloweened ourselves. Like I had my decorations up since September. Like maybe we're just over it. But and although I was really looking forward to reading that book, when I was actually reading it, I was like, I don't want to read about vampires. And it could have been that I had just read the My Roommate's a Vampire, so maybe was a little vampired out. But I also didn't read Soul Searching because, well, I wanted to read it with Savannah, A. We were trying to work through her events and everything. And B, it was also ghost related, so I was like, "No, I want holidays." And, I did try reading A Merry Little Meet Cute, which is technically considered a holiday book, but I'll be finishing that next year or in January. I think I got, like, 100 pages in, and I'm like, "This is not scratching the holiday book or the holiday itch for me," so and I don't wanna tell you guys what I'm reading currently. That's for the next episode. But we are glad that you guys decided to join us back. We hope to be back in the groove of things. If not, I mean, the holidays are coming up, so we do apologize again if there is another delay, but, and I'm going on a trip, and she just got back from her cruise. But we hope to be back into our regularly, scheduled episodes, and we hope to be able to talk to you guys about Air of Fire and Good Spirits in the next episode. We'll see. But let us know what you guys think about the Throne of Glass series so far and your thoughts on Crown of Midnight. Is it an evil necessary or not? We'll be seeing you guys later. Bye.
Bye.